Hi everyone, and welcome back. I have an area here on my railroad where I have a swag light chain hanging down on my wall, and I boo-booed when I built this. There is a gap between the roadbed here and the wall, so I came up with an idea to fix it. And what I did was I cut a piece of foam and I cut it out to fit over top the swag light. And I made it just big enough that a car would pass through here like going through a rock cut. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to cut it like it was going through granite. And I wanted to kind of achieve the look of when the railway was built in the late 1800s and the early 1900s, of where they actually did the rock by using single jacks and double jacks and chisels, and then blasting it out with dynamite through the granite. And I did a video on this particular piece, but I had just got some new video editing software and I really messed up the video. So I'm going to try to do this a little differently and show you how I did this on this little piece right here. And I'll do the big rocks on that, and then I will do the hammered out, chiseled out, and blasted out part here. And I've also got a little bit more here that I'm going to be doing as well. So this is what it looks like right now from a distance. It kind of covers that swag light there pretty good. If I'm down close taking a picture of the train, it will look good. But anyhow, let's get started carving out this other piece of rock. Okay, here's my piece here, and you can see where I kind of did a little diagram of how I want the rock to kind of look. So, anyways, it's pretty basic. You just start carving. And here again, I'm using my trusty 18mm knife. And this blade is getting kind of dull. You see how it's kind of just pulling away at that? So give me a few minutes and I will change that out. So here we are. I have a nice new blade in there. You see how nice that cuts that right out now versus the dull blade. And as far as the dull blades go, I just use them just doing some sort of rough project. But anyways, we're just doing some carving here. Just trying to get our basic rock shapes. It's a little different than when you're doing your limestone one, because we're actually carving out rock shapes here. So we'll just go ahead and carve that out. Cut her in there a little bit. I don't want to go too deep here because this is sitting on top of the other rock and we don't want no big hole right there. But we'll just carve this. And you basically just keep carving until you achieve the result you want to achieve. But yeah, I was mentioning that I installed a video software program on my computer so that I could edit videos. And I can tell you one thing. With my hands, I can do about anything, but technically I am challenged. So if anyone has any ideas on a good, easy way to edit videos, I would appreciate hearing from them, because I am definitely struggling with that one. Thank goodness I don't struggle with everything. You just carve out your shapes. See right here, I basically have my rough shape now. So let's go ahead and start putting in some highlights in there. I'm going to put a little cracks and crevices and everything else to try to make it look a little more realistic here. And the one trick about doing rocks and foam is it's real easy to have that flat look on the front, and you don't really want that if you can help it. So you have to do a little shaving to kind of round it some, so we'll do that as well. I don't mind, in this case, I don't mind rounding a little bit more on the top because of the fact that there'll be ground foam and everything else put there. But we got to kind of And there's no really hard way to do this or anything like that. Just keep carving until you get something going here. Just nothing fancy. Just go ahead and just carve her out. Try to stay away from as many straight lines as you can. You try to get a little jagged. You don't want straight. Straight just doesn't look good. So just keep carving away. Let's round this a little bit more right here. Give her a roundy look. And on this back side over here, we'll put a few little notches and stuff in there as well. Just to kind of give her some, what I like to call character. Just keep carving away. Then see right here on top, we're going to end up putting down all kinds of different ground foam and everything. So that'll hide any straight edges you might have up there. Just round out the edges a little bit. We don't want that flat rock on the front. Just put a couple little things in here, there, everywhere. And we just try to make sure we don't have any straight edges there. Now, like I said, on the bottom, we don't want to go too deep, because then it won't blend well with the other piece underneath it. There again, be really careful. This is a sharp knife, and it'll cut like crazy on its own. So you don't have to pull hard or anything like that. Just be gentle with it, so you don't end up with a finger sliced half off. There we go. That's not looking too shabby. Now what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to take a little wire brush that I have, just make sure I just kind of round up the edges a little more and get all the little pieces of loose foam out of the holes. This is just a little brass wire brush. This one here is made by Rich Lou, but I think anything would work. There, that's kind of a nice rough texture on there. It'll really show up once I get the paint on her. So, anyways, for the blasted part in the bottom, I don't go near as deep as what I did with the limestone. I kind of just go just go a little shallower, and I kind of focus more on the vertical ones, because that's the ones where they use their old double jacks or single jacks, and they drilled their holes into their rock. That was quite a process they used to use. A double jack was a double one-man sledgehammer. It was a double-handed sledgehammer. And a guy would actually swing the sledgehammer, and another guy would actually hold a big chisel, and he would hold it in the ground, and he would rotate it a quarter turn in between hammer strikes. And they would just keep changing out different lengths of drill bits until they got the hole as deep as they wanted to. I'm sure many people lost their hands when the guy swinging the big hammer missed. It was a hard way to make a living, I think, in those days. And the single jack it was a single-handed sledgehammer, and you just swung it yourself and held the drill bit yourself and swung it that way. And then they would insert dynamite into the holes, and then they would blast them. Unfortunately, there's quite a few people also lost their lives when they had one that didn't go boom when all the rest of them did, and as soon as they stuck the drill in and went to give it a whack, it went kaboom and killed them. But anyhow, I've got the cutting done, so let me grab the chisel and we'll do that. Alright, it's basically the same thing with the chisel. Just knock your pieces all out. leave a few of the little square pieces, but you're aiming to get more of a jagged, rough edge like this when you're doing it. This is why I didn't go as deep with this one, because where it blends up at the bottom or with the other rocks, you want them to kind of match up a little bit. Go ahead and just go ahead and take off as much as you think you want to take off here to give her that look. There. I think that's not looking too bad right there. And then what we'll do again is just take this brass wire brush and we'll go vertical strokes on it. Just get all the loose pieces off, and then it'll give her a few more lines and scratches in her so that you can tell it was actually worked. There. That's not too shabby. So now I'll have to vacuum clean up, and we will do the painting. And this piece is basically going to sit right on here. So I can actually carve out just a little bit more right here, make her blend in a little bit more. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to carve out just a hair more right here. I don't like all that angle right there either, so I'm going to take that out a little bit as well. Just give her, so she doesn't look like I cut it on my saw or whatever and made her look straight. We don't want that. So let's go ahead and just round that off a little bit there as well. There we go. We'll get up in here just a little bit. There. I can actually put a couple little cracks right there if I wanted to. Just there. Yeah, look at that. There we are. Okay, so now we'll put this on top. There. That blends up not too awful bad. So, like I say, I'll do my vacuum cleaning, and then we'll get busy painting her. Okay, I've got all the pieces vacuum cleaned up here. So now what we're going to do is I keep a little tub of water handy and dip my brush into it. And for this brush, I'm trying out my half round so that hopefully it'll get in and dab it in the black paint and get the black paint all the way in the cracks and everything. You want to make sure you get all the cracks covered. And there again, it comes down to the same deal. If you are going to take pictures, you definitely don't want the blue showing through. You're looking at it with a naked eye. Most times the naked eye won't pick it out, but with the quality of the cameras we have now, if you are taking pictures and you're getting right in close, they show every blade of grass, every little crack in the rock, and the blue is going to show up in there. So there we are. There's that little bit of water with that brown brush works really good. It made short work of getting in there. Go ahead and get your top somewhat painted and your sides somewhat painted, because we're going to put a coat of gray on top of this. I'm still sticking with the same theme of mostly gray rocks here, and I know a lot of different areas of the country, the rocks are different colors, so whatever your color is, just go with that. Don't worry about doing it gray like I'm doing it. You do the color that you want to do. Now I'm doing gray with a little bit of beige and white highlights. Anyway, that dampened my brush again. Now we're sticking it all into all these little crevices here of the blasted out part. There we go. Just keep working her in. this is the kind of stuff that I really enjoy doing right here. And if someone, and it's not hard to do. Once you've done it a few times, it just feels easy. It just is easy. You just have to get at it and do it the first time and get her done. Now this whole electronic thing, well, actually, come to think of it, I'm not too bad with electronics. It's the software stuff that I have trouble with. But one of these days I'll learn it. Here, dampen my brush again. Get her that way, she'll flow into all the cracks. Now when we do the paint on top of this, it's going to make all the difference in the world. There we are. She's coming along. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and do this here as well. We don't want any of the blue showing through at all. There we are. This is where the rocks are kind of coming together right here. So make sure I get that as well. So you can see where the water does thin down the paint just a little bit. But that's not too bad. Once we get our, we're just basically looking to get it into all the little holes. Okay. Now take a look at that thing on all different, see there's some blue showing up right there. So let's go ahead and get in there. Look at it from all different sides. You don't want the blue showing. There we go. And we'll look at it from that side as well. From that side and that side. I think we got her pretty good. Okay, so now I need to dry this thing. And then we will put our secondary color on. So just give me a few minutes to dry it and I will be right back. Okay, I've got them all dried now. And I forgot to mention earlier, I did this with a wet paint technique versus the isopropyl alcohol. And I just did it this way just to show that you could do it either way. It's really not that important. The isopropyl alcohol is easy because then you just spray it on. But this paint technique works as well. Now when you're doing your next color, you don't want to get into all the cracks and crevices. You kind of want to just go on top like so. Just brush it, just barely hit the tops. And that way it leaves all the black showing in behind. And there's, oops, a little much paint on the brush. Just don't get too much paint on your brush so that it doesn't go in too deep on you. But this is my gray color. Like I said, depending on the area of the country you're in or the rocks in your area, whatever, that's the color you're going to want to use for this. And the best way to do that is look at pictures or take a drive through the country and take your own pictures. Just pay attention to what's going on, and that will give you the color of the rock you want to do. There we go. Now let's get a little on this edge here too, just in case that shows up a little bit. But you see how on the flat part it goes on more solid. Yeah, unfortunately, you don't really want that, but this is not going to show. So just go ahead and there we go. Just get around those edges a little bit. There. That's not too bad. You can go a little lighter if you want, or leave it a little darker. It's totally up to you. I'm going to put a little more light right in here. There we go. Just to get some nice stuff showing through there. There. Now, we're going to go ahead and do our big rocks. And it's the same deal. Now, these you have to be a little more careful not to get all solid flat color on because you don't have as many bumps. So when you're doing the brushing on the top, if you push your brush in too hard, it's going to make the paint more solid. You don't want that. Just keep the paint just barely touching the tops. See, like even that spot right there, that's a little bit of a solid spot. There we go. Just working away at her. Just working it. There we go. She's coming along. See there again, there's a flat spot on top. But thankfully, there's going to be a good bit of ground foam and some bushes and stuff on top. That'll make that look pretty good. Now, get a little over here. This is going to be showing up more. So I'm going to get a little more right here. There we go. That's a little dark right there for my liking yet. So I'm going to go just a little lighter. And you see how just swishing the brush across the top like that, it just hits the high spots. It doesn't make it look all solid. It doesn't make it look like the rocks are painted. There we go. I think that one, I'm going to go a little lighter yet. There we go. There. Now, it's time to get out our good trusty yellow ochre. Just hit a few spots with that, just to give her a little variety here. Now I'm just hitting some edges. Just to give her some highlight. Show up the edge of the cracks a little bit more. There we go. This over here is going to be showing, so get it a little more. There, that one spot right there I'm not too fond of, so I'm going to take just a little white by itself. Get my brush almost dry and just, there we are. That made her blend a little bit better. There we go. There. That's not too shabby. So now it's time to get this side. Get our yellow ochre. Just hit a few spots here and there. Now, if I really wanted to, there's a good bit of beige and stuff in our rocks around here too. But I'm going to try to get some of that done with my ground cover to kind of give her a little more three-dimensional look. There we go. I think that will do it. So let's go ahead and put this on the wall and see how she looks. So there we go. She's on the wall. I got one more piece to do. And I got the hammered out rock here. And I got a big rock left on top there. It kind of blends in with the rest of it. And what I think I'll do where the chain is here, I just may put some bushes or something around that. And that'll hide that even more. So if the train's coming through right here and I'm panned out a little bit, it's not going to show up. Well, anyhow, thank you for watching. I hope this helped you. If it did, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos in the future, then subscribe and that way you'll get lots of videos to view. Thank you. Bye.